Bar Story by Michael Neff. A friend of mine wrote recently and said, "Hold hope. You never know what's around the corner, even if you can't see the corner." There was a time when you could hear words like that and think nothing of them. They weren't full of any more meaning than their definitions and combinations imply. Same for the story that's about to follow. Not even a story, really, just a reflection, with maybe a bit of narrative spine laid over to keep things moving. Our global pandemic has changed all of that, at least for the time being, so I'm sending these specific words out and writing from the past. Not because the past was so great, but because it was there. It was real. It was real, I think. Writing from the past means writing to the future, and future at this moment is a frightening word. So consider this a message from what was to what will be again, or what could be, at least, which is the most any of us can hope for, but hope comes at a premium these days. So if you have it, hang on to it, or spend it wisely if you have to let it go at all. Before we go on, though, we have to start properly, which means we have to start with a toast. So if you have a glass, take a moment, please, and raise it with me. Here's to the way things were. May we remember the best times, discard the worst, and learn what we can from whatever remains. Cheers. Now, since we can't always have the things we want, we can at least remember them, and there was a time when the following statement was true. It's 1 a.m., and I'm sitting in a bar. Not because I don't have anywhere else to be, not because I don't have anything to do in the morning. I'm at this particular bar because bars are where I belong, and these words can't be written anywhere else. I'm not really here to drink, though drinking is the price you pay for participating in the culture. You gotta play if you want to sit at the table, and you gotta ante up to play. I don't drink to forget my troubles, and I don't drink because I want to impair myself. Honestly, if I get that drunk feeling where the world starts to spin and your vision tunnels down around the edges, I consider it a failure of pacing. There is no cliche I know of that applies to my drinking, be it uncontrollable urges of family history with alcoholism, a disease which we in my clan have some experience, or self-destructive tendencies that make one neglect life outside of the bottle to fully explore life within. No, the reason I drink is pretty simple. I like to. I like the taste of spirits, be they bitter Amari or gut punch bourbon. I like the taste of beer. I like the way these flavors combine, either in the glass or on the palate, and I like the way these combinations spark the imagination. Mostly, though, I drink because I love being in bars. Imbibing is a part of the experience, and I would no more hang out in a bar without a beverage than I would hang around a restaurant without ordering something to eat. Bars are my milieu, my social place, and thinking corner. They are where I go to meet friends, watch election returns, sing songs with strangers, and generally immerse myself in the stream of humanity we call life. They are also where I go to write, which has sparked some interesting conversations. Something about the susurrus of voices, the universality of the playlist, the overheard conversations. It helps me focus on what it is I'm trying to say. I used to write in a big black notebook, which so interested a couple of punters in a bar in Riverside, California, that they were so moved to comment. "Hey, what are you reading, the Bible? Who reads the Bible in a bar?" No, I'm writing. "Oh, what are you writing about?" "I'm writing about bars, actually." "Sweet, you gonna write about us?" They commenced throwing out ideas that they thought would be worthy of me writing about, none of which I did. Until now, I suppose. So, cheers to those random dudes, wherever they are. That's the point, though. In a bar, we get to live life among our fellow human beings, intimately, And this is true whether or not we speak to another soul. We don't have to know each other to share this experience any more than we have to know each other to ride the same roller coaster. We do get to experience that rush as a group together. And maybe there's a moment when the ride is over and we silently acknowledge that, yes, we both just experienced the same emotional ride. But for the most part, even when we're alone, we're part of a collective experience. This is the power of a bar, and this is one of the reasons that bars are important. The lady next to me talking to a man happens to be sitting next to her. They're not acquainted. My drink had a hole in it. Classic. I'm luckier than most because bars are my profession. I get to be in them more often than most without burning my life down in the process. It could be that my love of bars stems from the fact I've been a professional bartender for more than 25 years, or it could be that that love led me to a career I am uniquely suited for. I don't know, but the result is largely the same. What I can say is that almost everything good that has happened in my life has happened as a result of being in a bar. A lot of the shitty things have happened for the same reason, so put that wherever you want. That's my story in a nutshell. The bars have given me everything and taken most of it away, as with many things that touch the booze business. There are big negatives and big positives. In my case, so far, at least, the positives outweigh the negatives, which is what keeps me coming back after all these years. But I know that isn't the case for all of us. Yes, we are in the good time business. And when your job is to throw fun parties night after night, you get to experience things that most people can only read about in shitty memoirs. That said, the life of a bartender isn't easy. It's not always fun. We sacrifice a lot of what you might call normal life to be in this business, which makes anything like normal relationships nearly impossible to maintain. The dangers and the ills of drinking, especially as a professional and lifestyle choice, are very real. And we all have to come to terms with demon alcohol at some point in our careers. Some of us make it. Some of us don't. Alcohol is addictive. And I've seen many good people battle that demon to, at best, an impasse. And at worst, the ruin of their career and the loss of their freedom and their ruinous demise or the destruction of other people's lives. This is not a literary device. It's not hyperbole or exaggeration. It's real. Might as well get it out of the way. Equally destructive is the life itself. Bartenders deal in illusion more than any other thing. Our job is to present a picture of life that gives you, the imbibing public, the image that we want you to see. Maintaining the separation between illusion and reality takes a force of will that is difficult to maintain. And the consequences of blurring that line of separation can be destructive. That struggle continues night after night. And you have to put everything you have into each shift, each day, all the time. It never stops. It can destroy your body, your relationships, your life, your ability to conduct yourself like a normal human. It will take away the joy in being out yourself. Once you've been behind the curtain, you can't unsee it. Your ability to be fooled by the same illusion you have to create for other people, it's taken away. And on top of all that, the ingratitude is staggering. We operate under a stigma that makes people assume that we must have failed at something better. Oh, you're still tending bar. It's as if I'm still playing video games or sleeping with the lights on. Regardless of how elevated your bar, how sophisticated your clientele, how many accolades and articles you receive, at the end of the day, you're still just a bartender. However, the assumption that tending bar is something that responsible people grow out of is belied by the number of places that exist, the money that is spent to create them. It belies the ritz and the glamour of swanky restaurant bars, the paraphernalia of the sports bar, the international ubiquity of the Irish bar, a welcome sign for travelers who are looking for something familiar in an alien environment. The speakeasy-style cocktail bar with its single-minded focus and an eye for history. Every historic site you visit when you're traveling, from the White Horse Tavern in New York to Harry's American Bar in Paris, some little joint in Omaha that you read about on Yelp, every neighborhood joint that is there for you when you need it, whether it's a once a year or once a week. The airport bar, because how else are you going to calm your pre-flight jitters? Our culture is incubated in bars. Where do you think music comes from? How do you think the bands you love got their start? Your novelists darken their corners, your television shows are shot in them. Businesses are conceived on bar napkins, the deals made to create them consummated with the clink of two glasses and the shake of a hand. Your relationships begin in them. That moment when you lock eyes across a crowded bar, and then you're dating, then you're married. Your relationships end in them too. The beat goes on. But we were talking about hope. And for the present and for the future, the past can take care of itself. Everything written here was true. Once upon a time. True for me, at least, which is as much truth as most of us can handle. Every idea and every observation, all of them were human, which is why they were important. Being human isn't easy in the best of circumstances. In these days, which are not the best of circumstances, remembering that what we had might give us just enough hope to create what we need to exist in the future. And the future is where hope lives. So, for me, I'll hope one day in the future to see you in the bar. In the meantime, if you can't see the corner, try to at least remember that there is a corner there. And hold hope.